Have you seen like pictures of your parents and stuff like that when they were young?
Yeah.
And stuff.
Yeah. I love that Vsauce video of why do your parents even look old in their younger pictures.
Yeah.
It's true.
I haven't seen that one.
Well, think about it. Like when you see pictures of your parents when they're young, they look old still, right? They look old even when they're like 20.
Or when you look at pictures of like
1960s.
what was like high school kids in the 70s.
They look old.
They look older for some reason than high school kids today.
Think about it.
And
Do they?
yeah,
Yes.
and it's this weird like cycle. I mean, obviously there's a Vsauce video about it, but like
Yeah.
there's
Let
this
me
like
show you
weird
pictures.
psychological trick that happens of like, because it's from a older time,
Yeah.
you initially condition yourself to look at that and be like, that is an older person from before, but they still look older because your only image of that is this thing is old.
But like also what I find what I'm going to find interesting going forward is that the world was just never as well documented as it is now.
Don't they look older? That's high school. They don't look like high schoolers, right?
Yeah.
Like this dude,
I
this
mean-
dude doesn't look like a high schooler. Like they
I
just
think
don't.
I think it looks old just because of the aesthetic, right?
Well,
you
then
know,
for sure, that's what he was just saying.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah,
No,
yeah.
Then I get it because I look back, right? I think back and I see photos like that, and it just feels old because I can't imagine living in that time zone because you have like the fucking sepia filter. Everyone looks
Sepia, you mean?
Sepia. Sorry,
Sepia.
It looks like it's gone through like a sepia filter. Everyone looks different. The haircut's different, and I can't imagine it being in like 4K HD. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I can't imagine looking around and being like, oh, this is what it looks like in normal colors in 4K HD and shit like that.
Right.
Which is why when I see like, have you ever seen like old videos that have been remastered with like modern colors? That freaks me out so much, man.
Oh, it's like that. There's videos where it's like someone filmed like Japan in like 1910.
Yes, I've seen that
And
video.
then they just
But it's
added color to
4K,
it.
recolored, remastered,
Pretty cool.
everything.
It's cool and it freaks me out because I'm
And
like,
people are
this-
freaked out because like, what the fuck is that thing?
Yeah,
What's
I'm
that camera?
Because you look at this video of like, I think there's like one of like Kyoto in like the 1890s or something.
Yeah.
And it's just weird to think like, oh, every single person in this video is not here anymore.
Yeah.
And that's like terrifying. It's so weird to think about.
Don't say that.
Yeah,
Joe.
it's so-
They're
it's like-
they're characters. Okay, they didn't exist.
They're NPCs.
They're history. They're all NPCs.
They're all NPCs.
Everyone is a history NPC that only exists in the fucking books. Okay.
Yeah, it's so like, it's just so fascinating.
Well, I had that thought with like World War II, right? Like
Yeah.
growing up. Oh yeah, you had like grandparents and stuff in there. And then now it's slowly getting to the point where like in a few years, or you know, in like 10 something years, whatever, it's like there's going to be so little World War II survivors, and within like 20, 30 years, there'll be no World War II survivors. And that's weird to think about. Like growing up, you'd always see them on like TV, and they would talk about it, and you're like, this is like a thing.
Yeah.
And then now there's nobody who remembers it, nobody who was there, nobody
Yeah.
who can recount that time period.
Yeah.
Like this extremely important historical event when nobody was alive for it.
Yeah.
Like that's so weird going from having people alive to it to then not having people alive. Like, especially in our time, right? Because obviously we can speculate what the Romans were like and stuff, but no one in our time knows anyone who was ever alive during that. You know what I mean? And
Like,
it's weird thinking that it's like going to that direction.
And it's like, you know, I always find that there's this disconnect with history, right? Where you know it happened. You know that these people existed, but they also just kind of feel like characters in a book or something.
That's why it's also cool having this much documentation, right? Because like, I think the older the history is, the more scarce options we have to figure out how it was, right?
So we have to like fill in the pieces ourselves.
For sure.
But like what I find interesting is that I have this image of my parents when they were like younger, right? And I have like stories that I've heard from like uncles and aunties and some old pictures. But at the end of the day, it's still just an image of what they were like. I don't actually know what they were like, you know. Our kids are gonna have like every single, like they're gonna have like every argument we've had about bone-in chicken, and like if my kid doesn't like chicken wings, he's gonna fucking know why.
It's like, oh, my dad's stupid as
Yeah.
fuck.
How old is your grandma?
My
Grandma's pretty old, right?
No, my grandma on my dad's side is around 97.
Okay,
98,
this is a
I
weird
think.
thought, right? Your grandma that is 97 is like, in age-wise, was is closer to like the Victorian era than like today, like from the moment she was born, right? Isn't that weird to think that Victorian era that we think of that really quirky time? Like
quirky. I don't know if I call it that.
Fucking weird, where they were doing weird shit. They were putting like asbestos in their wall, putting lead paint and everything. It's like, you know, it's just weird to think there are people who are alive today, who are old, who are closer to these really far off periods in history that we think is far off because we're born now. And we think 150 years ago, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Like also there was a great video where it was like in like 1960s or 50s. I think there was this woman who was like 90 and she was recounting stories of the Victorian period. Because obviously at that time it was still, you know, still around. It was still a thing, right? Weird. It's just so strange.
Jeez. That's
There's
scary to think about.
videos of these people talking about those times. So strange.
Yeah, and it's weird, like, you know, going back to like ancient history, it's weird to think we can't really process in our minds just how old like ancient Egypt was, you know? Because you get to a point in history and you think, oh, it's all like around the same period. It's all like Roman history, Greek history, ancient Egyptian history. It's all the same because it's all history. But like isn't it like the ancient Egyptians were as old to the Romans as the Romans are to us?
Yeah,
something along those
like
lines.
that.
Like some great civilization.
It's easy to make it feel like it's all one blur.
Yeah.
And when you actually look at the time between, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
I think, because I think I saw something similar where it's like, it was a lot like that, but like, say with like the dinosaurs, right? Of like, I think it's something like, in our heads, we think like Tyrannosaurus Rex and Stegosaurus are just like, they were around the same time. Like it's you know, it's all during the dinosaur era.
Yeah.
But in actuality, I think between the Stegosaurus and the Tyrannosaurus Rex, there's like 400 million years.
Oh no, humanity is a fucking footnote compared to how long the dinosaurs ruled the world, man.
But it's just so crazy to think that it's like, they're the same thing. They're around the same time. Like, and it's just not even close.
Like, we like to think that we're better. Like, look at these dumb animals that got wiped out by fucking meteor. Bro, we've barely lived the amount of, like, we have lived a fraction of the time they have ruled the earth.
Yeah.
And then all it took was like one fucking day and they're like gone, you know? It's
because they didn't get a lot.
We also wiped out. we wiped out more of us than anyone else. All right. No meteor can take that away from us. We killed way more of us than that fucking dumb meteor ever would have. All right.
We're flexing on the meteorite. Like,
we are the best at killing us.
Yeah.
Without doubt. No one is better than us.
That's why we're smart, just to fucking kill us.
However, if the ants decided to have an uprising, we would be fucked.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
If the ants had decided they have had enough of being in the ground.
If the insect world decided to start a coup d'etat one day, like they can overtake us in a day.
God, that just fucking remind me. Do you know something weird I've been doing in the holidays?
Are you collecting ants?
I haven't been collecting ants.
Okay,
Thank God.
No, I would have been. I do not want you to get it.
I'm not Malin. Don't worry about that.
Please do not start collecting ants.
I've been reading a book.
What?
Like
in 2023?
Like a book. Like
wow.
Words. Like not even like a light novel. Like a heavy. Heavy.
Like no pictures.
Like no pictures.
Wow.
It's just a heavy novel. So I've been reading this sci-fi novel called Children of Time.
I think I've heard of this book.
Maybe you have, maybe you haven't. I don't know. I just
wait, no, you haven't. You don't read.
I don't read, but I hear about people talking about it.
Oh, okay.
I'm like, what are those funny things?
Yeah, I mean,
I've heard of a book before.
What are those?
It's like
I've read about a book once.
Yeah, it's a fascinating read because I heard something about the book that kind of like piqued my curiosity because it explores the idea of like what aliens actually are and what evolution actually is, right? So the premise of this book, right, is humanity.
Sounds at the beginning of like a flat Earth conspiracy theory.
Yeah.
What is evolution? Let's break it down.
Let's break it down. So it poses this question. So the book is set in like the far future where humanity is like an advanced race or something like that, and there's this one person who just goes, let's do an epic experiment. Let's try and give monkeys this virus that speeds up evolution, put them on a planet and see what happens.
Okay.
And then one day, and then eventually when they become as smart as us, I will come down and be their new god, right?
Okay.
But unfortunately, sorry, Connor, the plan goes wrong. All the monkeys dies. But what happens instead is that spiders instead get infected by this virus, right? That just kind of like just speeds up evolution and speeds up evolution and knowledge, basically, like that. So what happens is it follows.
Why spiders? Fuck, man, that's like the worst people to get advanced.
But that's why spiders, because when we think of what is alien to us, like what is more alien to us and ununderstandable than spiders? And it's fascinating to think. For one, it cemented the realization that if aliens exist, there's no fucking way we'd be able to communicate with them or have any resemblance to us whatsoever, because it really it follows this spider civilization that emerges from I guess their Stone Age to their modern age, right? And it shows how different basically everything in their civilization would be from human civilization, just based on what spiders are. So a great example of this is midway through the book, slight spoilers, but it's only a small scene. Midway through the book, one of the advanced humans crash land on this planet, right? And the spiders kind of they take this human in and they start studying this human. And they come to the conclusion that humans must be fucking dumb, man, because there's no way that it can communicate,
right?
Because the way spiders communicate is they don't have ears; they communicate through vibrations.
Yeah.
So they form this communication system with vibrations through their webs to communicate complex ideas to each other. And this human who is barking voice sound vibrations to them, they're like, nah, there's no way any animal would use sound as a vibration medium.
As a communication
that's
method,
dumb.
yeah.
Why would people do that?
Yeah.
And there's no way that any animal would evolve an orifice that they use to communicate and also ingest food. That just seems suboptimal. Why would any animals do that? And the spiders come to the conclusion that humans are these dumb animals that have not reached evolution and everything like that. And it just, there's so much about this book that opens your mind and makes you rethink what is it about our society and our civilization that is based on us basically coming from fucking monkeys and everything like that. So basically, if ants do decide to do an uprising, it's probably going to be a different kind of fucking uprising than anything that we can fucking imagine and everything like that. I don't know how we got on that.
I think it's easy to think that evolution just stops because you're everything, I get it now. I understand how every animal is and how we are, but obviously it's been going on for millions of years and it'll probably keep on going.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll get fucking tails. That'd be sick.
We might grow another arm. Who knows?
Maybe I'll get a big dick. What?
Yeah. Yeah. Who knows where humanity is going to be in millions and millions of years?
Probably not around.
If we live as long as the dinosaurs, that would be pretty interesting.
I'd like to think the spiders are watching me and they're like, "What is he doing?" And it's just me watching boo boo, stinky.
It's damn, humans are dumb.
This must be a complicated human ritual where they stinky.
Yeah, it's just like that meme where it's just people look back on the memes and they try to study fucking lolcat images or something. It's this must have been some ancient religious text or something like that. Do you think that actually happened with the ancient
Egyptians? We've done that with our own. Yeah, we've done that. Yeah. I swear there've been studied cases where we thought it was something and we were so wrong multiple times. Because obviously you get more information and the world's become more connected and it's, a lot of information that we had in English was based off wrong accounts and also sources that weren't really great. And so now we can translate and stuff. So it's much better now.
Yeah.
Not that we're doing great now.
Could you imagine if some archaeologist was just studying ancient Egyptian hieroglyphs and being we still haven't uncovered what this meaningful message must be because they left it on this wall, and then you go back 4,000 years and this Egyptian's just boop boop beep beep. I'm just some lorem ipsum shit, just filling in the blanks.
Our world gets abandoned. And they're like, what are these strange golden M signs they've put everywhere? There seem to be everywhere.
There must be the cult of M.
They seem to be in every place in mass. It seems odd. What is this?
Must be
Perhaps
some-
just a ritual or
Must have been some ancient religion.
It must have been a really crucial part to the human's existence. You know what I mean? We found more golden M's lying around. What could it mean?
There's so many of them. What could it mean?
There's so many in this one continent, America. There seems to be a density of these golden M's.
Oh my god.
Oh man, it's yeah, it would be interesting to think.
That sounds like a fucking sick book, though.
Yeah.
They should make that into an anime. Then I'll. Okay.
Honestly, it's like if you like me,
Kind of sounds like Terraformers, but less anime. Sounds like Terraformers if it was smart.
yeah, it's Terraformers. If it like, there's so many interesting ideas. Like eventually, the spiders learn how to make computers, but they learn how to make computers via programming, like ant programming, like programming ants.
Oh, that's fucking sick.
Which I'm just like, I never thought about it like that, but if you could learn to program ants via, because ants have like real ants have a set of programming, right? It's, you think about a normal ant and they're stupid as fuck, but somehow ant colonies, if you study ant colonies, they're able to do some fucking incredible things.
Well,
So what you're saying is we should-
individuals smart together.
So
Yeah,
what you're
smart
saying
together.
is we should make ant AI.
Basically,
That's the next AI, boys.
Yeah.
Someone's going to program
all you
that.
need to do
It wouldn't
is
be artificial. It'd be real intelligence.
yeah, would it be real intelligence,
RI?
or would it be real intelligence?
No, AI stands for ant intelligence.
Yeah, because the ants, dude, when the ants see what we did to them, they're gonna be pissed. When they see all these TikToks, people owning them, bro, it's over, dude. It's over.
Oh my god.
It's like, I'm sorry, Maylin. This she's the
Yeah,
first
yeah,
one.
she's
to
the
go,
first
man.
thing. They're coming for
she's
her.
the
It's
first victim
already
to
like
go.
all the pesticides, right? They already evolved to kind of be beyond it, and we're constantly chasing the next one. It's
Yeah.
like we
Yeah.
say we'll get to the point where using this pesticide is just not feasible because it's so dangerous to us.
Yeah.